Welcome to the Instant Reaction Show. Right here, moments after the Alabama Crimson Tide took down the Dogs of Georgia, the big bad Bulldogs of Georgia. The 29-game winning streak is over. It's dead. The quest for three-peat is dead. Let's chit-chat about it now. All right, so I'm flying solo for the moment. My partner Parker's in the car. Here he comes in. Maybe we can get some thoughts from Maverick here. But instant
Hello. Can
reaction.
anybody hear me? Anybody
Yes,
hear?
we're live, Parker.
Good.
We're live. We can
Live.
hear
We're
you.
live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Yeah.
So
What
yes,
can I say? I'm sorry. I'm doing it from the guest platform today. En route to home, not from my stationary place. What can I say? I told the boys yesterday that I had a good feeling. I had something felt like it felt like 2009 SEC championship. Nobody gave us a chance. And, coming into this, how it is now, honestly, we didn't play very, very well. I think we could have played obviously a lot better in on the offensive side of the game. The first half, we really struggled to really stop them on the defensive side. We started to dial in on it in the second half, where they start picking us too. But really, I thought honestly, if we played our best game, we could have beaten Georgia by. I know the final score was 27-24. Honestly, when they fumbled that ball, we should have gone in and scored a touchdown instead of a field goal. I'd mentioned that they could put that up in the group text too. But my big was the potential of having three interceptions that we dropped. Could have been a
three.
big
I
impact.
don't understand. And we
I
dropped
mean,
three
three,
interceptions. That's
possibly four. And that's the
golly.
crazy thing too, is people were talking about like, oh, Alabama barely won.
Mm.
Alabama did everything they could. They did enough to win, but honestly, they could have done enough to lose too, which could have been said for last week as well. But I was listening to the and they said once Alabama took that 10-7 lead, they had control. They had control of the whole game, and I'm not going to disagree with it because I just felt like the momentum never seemed to switch sides on it, and that's the crazy thing about it is everybody was talking about how Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey were going to do so much to us. Well, honestly, they weren't 100%, and we knew that. Um, and I don't know if I'm cutting in and out. I'm sorry. I'm going through some hills down in South Alabama right now. I apologize if I go in and out here, but I don't know. Very happy with um, at the end of last night. Washington winning helped us a little bit. I think Jeff also stated that. Actually, he stated it first. I had picked Oregon to win that game. I will be gladly be
Was that enough to get us in the
Washington at
playoff?
Oregon.
I mean, was beating Georgia by three
No,
enough to
no, I do
get
not.
us in?
I do not. No,
I don't
no,
either.
not with one game out.
Yeah, Florida State has to lose. We have to have Florida State lose because Oklahoma State didn't do us any favors this morning. They got skull drug rather quickly. It was out of hand early. Non called opening drive for Oklahoma State leads to a punt, which they get a penalty on the punt return, 15 yards, and then Texas scores like 3 plays later. Then Okie State goes 3 and out. Then Texas scores again. It's 14-0 before you even your seat's even warm. So didn't feel too good after that. So we really needed Louisville to knock Florida State out, and even just to give us any inkling of hope, any sliver of hope, anything of hope to get in. Florida State has to go down tonight. I still don't think they're going to jump us over Texas. Texas was pretty convincing. I mean, this was a 3-point game, but Alabama was in control of this game, I think, from after Georgia went down that opening drive and scored a touchdown on the opening drive. That I think that it Alabama was in control for most of that game after that. I mean, they didn't feel threatened till the end there, but it was like they calmly watched down, got a field goal, got a stop, got a touchdown, took the lead, and then, played winning football after that. We dropped 3 interceptions that I can think of off the top of my head. Christian Leary's, I thought that was going to be huge. Is going to cost us some points. Is going to cost us, which it did. It cost us 3 points, but I thought that was going to be a big play in the game by him dropping that. Amos dropping that pick, I thought was going to be another one that is like, man, I hope that doesn't come back to bite us. But credit to the defense, they stayed the course. They stayed the course. The 2 CBS dudes want Bama in the Final Four, says Scoop. Well, they should be. That's the most impressive win of the season, I think, by any team. I mean, we're ranked 8.
Team.
Yeah, we're ranked number 8.
The number 1 team, and
took them down, son. Took them down.
So,
took them down, big man.
I'm sorry. I've got a lot of thoughts on this. Fact of the matter is, there's a lot of bias going on. I really haven't mentioned it before. I've kind of laid it kind of to the wayside a lot because I don't want to be that kind of person. But there's been so much bias this year because it's the last year of the Pac-12, and Hunter actually mentioned it last week, and I'm glad he did. It's the last year of the Pac-12, so it didn't matter, who was going to win that game. Either or was getting in. And I feel like
that's unfortunate too. Washington deserves it, but Oregon didn't deserve to be in there.
I agree.
So thankfully they're moved out,
and rightfully so. Washington undefeated 12.
Yeah. Yes.
Florida State.
Yeah. So if Florida State wins, that's going to really suck. They're not going to keep an undefeated Power 5 out of the Final Four, even if Florida State's schedule was weak, even if the combined record of their opponents was, I don't know, like 9 or 10 games under 500. The only of the 4 in there with
60,
schedule. Yeah. What was it?
67, 70?
Something like that.
67 and 73. Isn't that something like
something
that?
Like, yeah. 8 or 9 games under 500.
Just
a joke. Just a joke. And now they're down, their best player. The backup quarterback's questionable in protocol, so they may be down to the 3rd string quarterback. I mean, it's clearly not one of the 4 best teams. Maybe they're undefeated, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that Florida State could beat either of those teams we just finished watching just now. I'm not sure that Florida State could beat either one of those teams. That's just me though, being a Bama homer, which I am. So it be what it be. But
agreed. I mean, that's just how it is.
But I mean, you can't tell me there are 4 better teams than the 2 teams we just got finished watching. I don't know that Oregon could beat either one of those teams.
No.
I mean, I don't think Florida State could down their best player. I definitely don't think Florida State could. But
the only thing
that was big.
Florida State has many teams is that their wide receivers are head and shoulders literally over everybody else. 6'3" and 6'5". They're two main wide
Wow.
receivers. I was like, I don't know many people that could cover that. That's like trying to cover two Julio Jones.
Right.
Yeah, looking at everything on that. Yeah,
I, I thought, I thought Bond really stepped up big, made some big catches. Gary Danielson could not get over the fact they didn't review that fourth down catch he made. I mean, could it have been if they'd have called it incomplete, they wouldn't have been able to overturn it. If they
and
called it a
I look
catch,
at
I
it
don't
too.
think
I
they would
did
have been able to
see
overturn it either.
no. I mean, I saw slight movement, but not enough to say that it touched the ground and it affected the catch. How about that?
I didn't think it affected the catch. Now I do have crimson colored glasses. I'm well aware of this, but I thought maybe if the ball moved that he did have control still. But like I said, those are crimson colored, glasses doing that. So maybe he did, maybe didn't. But the fact that Gary was still talking about it, halfway through the third quarter, coming out of halftime, any chance he got, this is 2 weeks in a row now. Gary takes every chance he gets to explain to us that Alabama should have had a penalty called on us for something. I mean, it's insanity. Like, let it go, dude. But he just can't do it. And then he comes out of halftime. He's still talking about that catch. And then he's got Nestler saying how controversial it was. I was like, it's not controversial. Why is it so controversial? Thank you, Scoop. Gary definitely going to talk. But I was like, why is it so controversial? I mean, it wasn't like an egregious drop. I thought it was a clear catch. I thought the ball may have moved, but I thought he still possessed the ball enough to they wouldn't have been able to overturn it. But Gary could not get over that. He was beside himself.
No, Gary was all about that, but as a Bama fan, as a lot of people want to say that Gary is a homer, Gary has never been a homer.
For
I don't care
who?
what anybody has said. He is not a Bama homer. To be
Never
specific,
has
I
been.
know tons of people are like, "Oh, he loves Alabama." I was like, "That's a complete load of
Uh,
crap."
no,
And
he
then guess
never
what?
has
After
been a
this year, it doesn't
homer.
matter. It's over. He
Yes,
despises
it's over.
Alabama. Honestly, has for
It's
years. I've
over.
seen it. Seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the end of CBS and the SEC. Thank you. We're also celebrating that. Good riddance. Have fun in the Big Ten or wherever they're calling games next year. Don't care. It's not.
Thanks for the memories.
It's not going to be the games I'm watching. So glad that's over with. So glad that is over with. Good night, CBS. Thank you for 26 years, 25 years, however many years it was. Have a nice life. But yes, Bond was clutch tonight. Milrow made some clutch plays. Milrow left a shack ton of plays on the field too. Mr. Take a Sack. The dude is a drive killer, momentum killer with these sacks that he takes, and then he comes back
Mm-hmm.
and he makes plays that win games, makes clutch plays. But he leaves more plays on the field, and he kills so much momentum with these sacks that he takes. It drives me nuts. But then he comes back in the last drive. He took off running. He was decisive. He was aggressive, and it won us a game. So go
Yeah.
Jalen.
Yeah. I really don't know what else to say to it. It's mm,
I never would have
mm.
pegged this team winning the SEC after that South Florida game. I was thinking we were going to be in deep doo-doo. Yeah, Scoop is right. Bond is
Yeah,
a
and
baller.
I agree. And then on a couple of them, I know on that drive where we scored that late touchdown, um, like four of the last four passes that Milrow had were to Bond, and yet I think it was Jalen Hale. They had like a double out route, and Hale was wide open, just wide open.
Yeah.
You just toss it to him. It's not even a hard throw. Nobody was on him, and then there was a missed touchdown. Burton was in the end zone, wide open, and that was early on in the game. I'm like, and this goes back to what Jeff and I were talking about earlier. Is we left a lot. out there.
Bingo, Scoops.
This team is not
Bench to best. How about a guy that got
bench to
benched
best.
now, the SEC championship game MVP? How do you like them
Yeah,
apples?
I mean, did
He had
he
clutch
do anything
runs.
to?
Clutch runs. He didn't turn it
He
over.
took
No
some
turnovers. That's the big
exactly.
thing.
That was the crucial thing is he did not turn the ball over. And at the end of the day, that was one of the big things that I said that was going to be detrimental. Can we not turn the ball over? And we did it. And we we put
That was
ourselves in
big.
some bad situations, but no turnovers though.
Well,
Very
no
happy about
bad
that.
penalties. Um, I thought that horse collar call they got on Georgia, I didn't think that was a horse collar, although Sterator and Danielson disagreed. Sterator seemed to think it was, but I didn't think it was. Didn't seem like a horse
Hmm.
collar to me. Thought he just got him by the jersey and chucked him down. But I mean, I'll take it. They want to give it to us. I'll take it. I'm not going to say no. We don't want the 15 yards. But that was fine.
Yeah,
I just thought the defense after that first drive, first play, nobody covers Bowers. He gets like 30 yards. I was like, of all the things to do on the first play, not cover the best player. And then, but they really took him out of the game
exactly.
after that. I mean, he made a couple catches later on, but for the most part, I mean, I know he was on the GIMP, and so was Lad McConkey on the GIMP. God bless him for, getting out there and playing. Even made a big third down catch that got him a first down late in that game. But it sucks when your best receivers are hurt. I know it's a bummer when you try to, win a championship when your best players get hurt.
Yeah,
Sucks.
and everybody talks about how legit they've both been. Um, Last time we played Georgia, I'm sorry, the previous time we played Georgia, not the national championship, when both teams were at their 100% or about even. Um,
That was the last
we
game
shut
Georgia
down.
lost.
Yeah, we shut down Bowers, and I don't even think McConkey played. So, um, it's one of those things. Like you avoid Bama for however long, but they're kryptonite to people. We Everybody wants to say the dynasty is dead. Well, it may be dying, but it's not dead yet. So it's still got some life
Maybe
in it.
being
It might win
reborn.
a couple more. Maybe so.
Might be
And
being
then
reborn,
maybe
son. Maybe I
and then
exorcise the demons of this jersey.
and maybe Saban lays this program into a coach when he's ready to, release the reins and give it to somebody else. I think he will leave it in a position better than it's ever been in. And then, whatever happens after is on, you know, the program and everything after. But I'm not going to blame it on Saban because he's done everything he can, especially tonight. He did as good as he could,
This
coaching
may be the
wise.
best coach. Excuse me, coaching job he's done
And it
um,
speaks
in a
on
while. I mean, this
the uh, the the David Pollock comment that everybody talked about. I'd mentioned it earlier. Hence why you just don't make those statements. Saban is the GOAT for a reason, people. Uh, You'll need to understand that. Now, there were plenty of coaches who were phenomenal. Kirby is a phenomenal coach. Saban's the GOAT. And
I
until
thought he
he's
did a
done,
great job tonight. I thought he
don't ever,
coached a great game
don't you
tonight.
ever count them out. Don't you ever
He
count
had him
them
ready to
out.
play. I mean, the defense they took it personal that first drive. Georgia went right down the field and scored like ho hum, no big deal. And the defense after that was like enough. Like you're be grinding this out from here on out. And granted it gave up 24 points. That last drive where they went 75 yards in like 3 minutes on the hurry up and scored. I was hoping we would make a stop there, but we were gassed. They were running that hurry up, and you could tell we were just gassed out. But we almost stopped them on the goal. Took them fourth and goal from the 1 inch line to
Well,
score that last touchdown. So
was that also the on the face mask, Jaheim Oates,
I believe
Otis,
so.
or who? Um,
Yeah.
Now I saw what happened. It was, I mean, it was going to be a sack, but he definitely face mask, clear as day. Uh, Scoot in your prime. Okay. I don't know.
Why his whole ice on his knee?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Me currently at 27 with ice on my knee right now. Haven't done
Nice.
anything. No, but looking at it, we're gonna need help, obviously. I think we need Louisville to win,
When is that
regardless. I
Louisville
think
Florida State game?
it has
What time?
started 6 minutes ago, actually.
Okay, so it's already
7:15 was
started.
kickoff time. 7 o'clock was the Iowa Michigan game. And
Okay.
I'm actually about to have to jump off here in just a little bit. But my final thoughts on this game, um, and Fonzie or Hunter or Cameron, whenever you finally get to see this, and Jeff can tell you this the truth. I told you not 12 weeks ago my original thoughts. This team would either go 8-4 or 11-1 or 12-0. They went in between the higher end, 12-1, so I'll take it. And I was completely wrong. Um, you know, they showed a lot of team, is what we call it. Teamwork and team effort. This is probably the best team effort I've seen since probably 2015 as a whole. Now, do I think that 2015 team was the best? I think Clemson was probably the best team that year, yet Bama won it. Okay. I think in 16 we were the better team, yet Clemson won it. So there's that. And it was kind of
Yeah.
like a back and forth situation. However, as far as coaching and as far as, changing and overcoming adversity, this team is right up there with 2015. Um, a lot rides on to this FSU game and things that are out of our control. Alabama and the players have done everything they can now to give them every consideration to get into this playoff. Um, there's that.
We'll
That's it.
see.
That's it. That's all I
I
got.
mean, that's all we had to win today, so we did that. Now, did we win
And we
by
did.
enough to convince anyone to jump us 4 spots? I don't know. A lot of it will depend on the Louisville game tonight. Michigan's going to crush Iowa. I'm not even concerned about. To me, Michigan and Washington are already in, so it's going to be all these teams vying for 2 spots, and if it should be Texas and Bama should be the 2 teams in.
Indeed.
I think that's clear, regardless of the Florida State Louisville outcome. I think Bama, Texas should be the 2 teams in. Should be Michigan, Washington, Texas, Bama. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how it should be,
Indeed.
in my opinion.
Indeed.
But
Indeed.
my opinion ain't worth jack, so that's where I think it should be. I think that Alabama proved they belong in the playoffs tonight, but they're not going to jump Texas because of the head-to-head. So hopefully they'll jump both Texas and Alabama together into the 3-4 slot. Like regardless of the outcomes of these games tonight, because, well, we know Michigan's going to win, but the Louisville-Florida State game outcome should be irrelevant.
Agreed.
Even if
Completely
Florida
agree.
State wins in a walk-off or wipeout, that still should matter. The 2 teams should be Texas, Bama, should be 3-4. That's what I think. That's what I think. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
For who? For you? For what? Forget about it.
You know what? I'm out of the game and I'm out and about, and then they pull me back in.
That's right.
They just pull me back in.
That's what that Bama team does, man. South Florida, you're almost out, and then they pull you back in.
Yeah, they pull me back.
And here we are, SEC champions, 2023 SEC champs. Mark it down. Nobody thought it was going to happen, especially after that South Florida game. Even me sitting on this show was like, we got big problems, man. And it's not fixable with the current quarterback. And, he balled out, left a lot of plays in the field tonight and last week But it doesn't matter. He made the plays that needed to be made when they needed to be made, and took off
Indeed.
running when he needed to. Got that first down when he needed to. Got 2 first downs. That fake pitch where he
Which he
fake pitched it and then took off up the middle for that first down. That was huge, man. Like that was big time because he committed. You got that right, Scoop. Lank, because he committed. I thought it was Link. Maybe it's Lank. I thought it was Link. But yeah, anyway, so that's 7 SEC championships in 10 years. That's wild. That's 70%. That's insanity. I just don't understand how that's possible. But whatever, it wasn't easy. They didn't make it easy this year in these games. There were a lot of one-score games, a lot of single-digit wins. Oh, okay, you're right, Scoop. I was wrong. But a lot of single-digit wins. A lot of obviously the Auburn game had to score late. This game we won by 3. Arkansas we had to hold off. A&M got within 5. You know, it's just the team finds a way to win, and there's nobody said it was going to be pretty, but guys are stepping up. Isaiah Bond is becoming that dude. He's becoming that dude. The Mr. Clutch, man. Wearing 17, following young Jubitus, the center Nick's Jubitus. Shout out to the unofficial UA assistant coaches for the greatest nickname of all time for Jalen Waddle. But wearing 17 is a lot of you got a lot of big shoes to fill following that dude. So Bond is stepping up, man. Bond is really making me a believer. He's going to be a force next year. The better he gets, the older he gets, he's going to be legit. You're looking at that dude. So big win. We'll see what the committee says tomorrow morning or whenever whenever they decide. I don't know if it's tomorrow morning. I can't remember if it's tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. But whenever the show is where they announce the 4 playoff teams, Bama's done everything they can do. A loss at home in week 2 to a top 10 team is not the worst thing in the world to happen. You know, so the punishment we're getting for having a loss to a top 10 team is, I don't understand that just because we win ugly. But here we are, 12-1 SEC champs. Hard to keep an SEC champion out of the playoffs. It's the toughest conference. Everybody knows it's the toughest conference. To grind it through like that with a first-year quarterback, first-year coordinator, not first-time coordinator, but first year at Bama coordinator, an old-school guy on defense, having to really remake the attitude of the defense from last year to this year. Had to get some dogs in those boys, and they showed up tonight. There were some dogs out there tonight. Jihad was blowing people up. Trez made several stops. Dallas made a big-time sack. Braz was getting in the mix. Q Robinson made a tackle on the goal line. Like, the linebackers are playing ferociously. The DBs are hitting and tackling. Obviously, Caleb Downs is a tackling machine. So the defense has really formed a personality, a physical personality, with that dog mentality where they want to bust you up. I think that played a big-time deal in how the season turned, especially this game. They really confused Georgia at times. They took Bowers out up until the end where he had that one catch on the goal line. So I think they really showed up today. I knew that last week junk with Auburn and Jordan Hare giving up 200-some-plus yards rushing, getting gashed by Thorne. I knew that wasn't going to happen today. That game last week was a survive game. Get to today and show the world what they're made of against the big, bad bullies on the block. 29 straight wins, back 3 straight undefeated regular seasons. 2 of them have died at our hands. So I'm happy for that. Georgia actually can make an argument that they're a top 4 playoff team. Too bad that there's not 12 teams this year, because a 12-team playoff with the teams that we would have in there this year would be insanity. There'd be some great football games. There'd be some great stuff going. So hate that there was only 4 teams in the playoffs this year. It's too bad. It would be really cool. You're right, Scoop. Atlanta is home game for the Nick Tater. I think he's 9-0 now in Atlanta, or 8-0 in Atlanta, something like that. Well, he lost in 08. I think he's whatever the stadium is. I don't know. He's got some undefeated record. Maybe it's in the Mercedes-Benz Dome or something because we lost in 08 to Tim Tebow. So he's not undefeated in the SEC championship game in Atlanta. But maybe it's this stadium they're talking about, the Benz Dome that they're talking about. But oh man, I just that game, it would never end either. It just kept going and kept going and kept going, and commercial and timeout and commercial and stoppage and commercial and incomplete, and just, geez, it was taking forever to end that game. But what a win. What a way to close out the season, getting ready for postseason. Wherever Alabama winds up, whether it's in the playoff or a New Year's Six Bowl, whoever they play, what a great season considering the unknowns and the intrigue that this season started with. The unknowns at quarterback, the unknowns at offensive line and receiver, and Steele coming back in defense, and Tommy Rees calling plays. The unknowns, we just didn't know. The intrigue was off the charts going into the season. I don't know if anybody predicted a championship, a SEC championship. I certainly didn't, but really, really excited, happy for this team, happy for Jalen Milroe. He drives me nuts, some of the choices he makes, but then when it's clutch time, the dude got ice in his veins, man. He learned from BY9, Bryce Young, who had ice running through his veins. It's almost like Milroe got that same blood running through his veins because it's ice cold, man. That guy's in clutch moments, man. Nothing phases him. So roll Tide, everyone. Go check us out, tideworldorder.com/the Couchcasters podcast. I'm Jeff. I'm your host. Thanks, Parker, for coming on. We missed you, Fonzie, Merv, Cam. Miss you guys. Roll Tide, everyone. I can't believe we pulled it off, but we sure did. We sure went in there and pulled it off. So roll Tide, everybody. Catch y'all next week. Peace.